What's up, collectors? Welcome back to Films by Color and to another episode of the Physical Media Rundown here on the channel, where we talk about every new physical media release that's coming out this week. Blu-rays, 4Ks, boutiques, limited editions, everything that's coming out this week we're going to talk about right here on the show, and it's a huge week. As always happens, everything seems to come out on the last week of the month, so we're talking about titles coming out tomorrow, Tuesday, April the 29th. We're shooting this live Monday night, as we always do on the channel, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, despite YouTube trying to sabotage me and changing the time to 10 p.m. Sorry about that. I don't know why that happened. Hopefully it didn't throw anybody off, but we're starting at the normal time tonight, and we're going to start talking about some movies here in just a minute. Let's give some people time to jump in and see who is in the live chat here. Thank you guys so much for joining me, as always. Always enjoy talking to you guys live. Still fun. Still fun. Almost 2 years later, we've been doing this and still having a good time. Baloney was the first one I saw in the chat tonight. It says hello, everyone. Marty is here as well. Yeah, I don't know what happened with the time. I set it for 9 p.m. I even said it twice. I set it for 9 p.m. and noticed that it had changed to 10 p.m. So I changed it back to 9 p.m. and it changed it again. So I don't know what YouTube's deal is. Collector Movie Man is here. Internet User is here. And Mr. Jones is here. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. Dwayne The Rock Hudson, as always. Michael Smith and Kevin House. Ready for our usual Monday night mayhem. It's going to be some mayhem tonight. There's a lot of releases coming out, and I don't have like a topic for discussion tonight. I'm sure you guys will bring tons of topics for discussion to the table like you always do. I didn't come up with one, but I don't think we're going to need one because there's rows and rows of releases to talk about. There's Vinegar Syndrome stuff to talk about, as always, on the last week of the month, and a bunch of Steelbooks, a bunch of 4K Steelbooks, lots of Clint Eastwood coming out this week, a big week for Criterion. I know a lot of people are excited about the Anora release, so we got tons of stuff to talk about. There'll be no shortage of conversation tonight, I'm sure of it. Jason X is here. Eli Cortez is here. Magnitude Rev. Beetlejuice is thrown off. I'm sorry. I'll try to get you back on track. Can't wait for this week of releases, and definitely pumped for the Vincent halfway to Black Friday sale. I read that weird. Thanks, Jeffrey, for your comment, and I totally forgot that we're almost halfway to Black Friday. That is actually very exciting because there's a lot of stuff that I have been interested in on Vincent's website, particularly from Film Movement, but I've been putting it off. I keep putting it off and putting it off, and maybe I'll just put it off long enough to get some stuff on sale in the halfway to Black Friday sale. Let's see what else we got here. Benruss is here. Haven't talked to you in a while. Good to see you, Benruss. Henry is here as well. Happy anniversary, DJ. Oh, hey, thank you very much. I don't know how you know when my anniversary is, but my anniversary is coming up. It's on the 30th. So yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for the shout out. Alden Tuttle is here. I love the Dirty Harry movies. My biggest problem, we'll get to those in just a second, with them though, is the out of nowhere nudity, and in the fourth one, Clint Eastwood sleeps with the killer for no real reason. Spoiler alert. Sorry, Alden, spoiling movies there. I don't think it was a big spoiler. Patrick Williams, what up, DJ? And Magnitude Rev says Film Movement Classics is definitely my favorite Vincent partner label. They got some great stuff, and I am tempted to pick some stuff up. All right, let's get to some new releases. I enjoy talking to you guys, and I will throughout the stream, but let's go ahead and jump into these big releases for this week. Look at all this. Look at this. I'm just going to scroll. Look at that. We're going to have to move quick tonight if we want to get through it in time, because there's a ton of stuff coming out, and I can't hang out too long tonight because I got to prepare for a big video I'm doing tomorrow, a big conversation discussion video that I'm doing with John and Connor. We're going to be finally breaking down all of Pasolini's films, which I have right here off screen. I just watched the last one moments ago, literally like 20 minutes ago. I finished Medea, which is the last film in this set. We watched through the entire set, all three of us, and we're going to talk about them all in one big mega discussion video tomorrow night. So wish us luck, because that's going to be a beast to get through. But let's go ahead and jump, speaking of Criterion, to the Criterion release for this week. It's a Nora, it's a Digipack, it's a 4K, it's a Blu-ray. It's everything you could wish for. Here it is. Here's the cover art. People very, very into this cover art. I remember when it was announced, people really, really like it. It's cool. I don't know. I'm much more when they do art. The photography is not as exciting for me. I wish they could have done some cool art for this one, but I'm glad people are loving it. I love Digipack, so it's probably going to be a really nice release. I think my wife will probably want to pick this up. She really, really enjoyed this movie. We watched it, right before Oscar season, or during Oscar season, right before the Oscars, and I liked it. She liked it more than I did, so if one of us is going to pick it up, it's probably going to be her. And look, just in time for the July sale, right around the corner. If you haven't seen it, it is, well, you can read the description. It's everyone knows about this. It was kind of like the biggest movie of last year. Won Best Picture. Everybody was excited about it. It's a dark, twisted version of the Cinderella story, and it's a lot of fun. Especially, it starts out pretty. I wasn't into it for like the first half, but once you get to that middle, right at the halfway point, it really starts to pick up, and I was really into it after that. It's actually a really funny film for how dark and kind of depressing it gets. But yeah, Anora's coming out this week. I'll leave it to the tech spec guys to review how well the transfer is. I know a lot of people give Criterion a lot of flack for not killing it with their transfers, but hopefully it looks good. Sean Baker deserves it. He's been killing it for the last few years now, so there we go. And Sean Baker is like a boutique darling. Like, all of his films are getting boutique releases. We had the Tangerine release from Second Sight. We have several of his films getting released. I know a lot of people want Florida Project to get a really nice boutique release. That would be really cool. But anyway, let's talk about Dirty Harry, also getting a 4K this week. This is from Warner Brothers. It's a nice steelbook with some original artwork. Very, goes all the way through. It's not just one piece. Like, oh gosh, can't even see it. Let's zoom out. Jeez Louise. That is a gigantic picture. Look at that, Warner Brothers. So you got the same art style going all the way through. Looks like the artist did several pieces for this one. You got the front, close-up, Clint Eastwood's profile, then you got the back. You got the inside as well, which is nice. Sometimes they don't always do the inside. A lot of time they just smack a image from the film in there. So that's kind of cool. I like it. It's apparently a limited edition steelbook. Says right there on the front, 4K and digital. No Blu-rays on these, which some people will be upset about. I'm not. I could take Blu-rays or leave them. But some people don't have a 4K player in multiple rooms in their house. They like to have a Blu-ray as well, which I can totally appreciate. I wish I had a 4K player in this office so that I could watch some special features in here. I need to eventually save up and get another one. That's something I need to do this year. But here you go. This Dirty Harry, again, a movie that doesn't need really any talking about. Everybody knows what Dirty Harry is. 1971. And hopefully it's a really great transfer. I know a lot of people are excited about this one too. Clint Eastwood getting a ton of 4Ks coming out this whole year. I know some of them got delayed, but yeah, there we go. Let's jump into the Outlaw. So we'll just do we'll bang out all three of these, and then we can talk about them in the live chat. So we've got Dirty Harry coming out, 1971. We've also got the Outlaw Josey Wales, also from Warner Brothers, also a steelbook, but they don't look like they're part of a line. They have different artwork, so kind of doing their own thing, which I appreciate. It can be nice to have things all lined up on the shelf that look identical, like part of the same style, part of the same line, but it is really cool to get some different artists in here doing their own thing and letting them have free reign. I really like the back of this. Actually, this whole thing. I actually prefer this one to the other one. As much as I like the colors on the other one, I actually prefer this style where it's got kind of this grungy, distressed paper texture on it. Some people might think that's kind of gimmicky. I actually really like it. I think it looks good. I think it fits with a Western really nice. Another limited edition steelbook. And there is a really cool image on the inside. I like that. That's a really cool. I don't know if that has to be a recreated bit of photography, I would guess. I don't think that's a shot from the movie. Very similar to what they did with Paper Moon last year for Criterion. If you open up the Criterion Digipack, it's got just kind of this laid out table, just like this, with realistic. That one was I think digital art. This one actually looks like it's photography, which is really cool. Got a little whiskey right there. I should have got some whiskey for tonight's show. That would have been perfectly on theme. And then the third one we got, I didn't mention the price on the first one. These are priced at $35 right now on Amazon, so not bad. Around the same price as the Amazon exclusive Lionsgate Limited steelbooks like Snowpiercer and Forbidden Kingdom that we've been getting recently. So $35. Not the best. It's not $20. It's not a few years ago, but it's also not Disney's crazy $65. Let's knock out this last one here, and then we'll talk to you guys in the chat because I know you guys have lots of thoughts. Here we go. Pale Rider. Again, 4K, digital, no Blu-ray, all the same, $35. And this one also has its own style. 1985. This is the weakest of the three, in my opinion. It's like I said, like I just called out before, it's just got an image on the inside from the movie. And I do like the artwork on both sides, but I would say of the three, this is probably the weakest. I like the silhouettes. The silhouettes are cool for Westerns, and I do like the colors. I like the warm color palette on that one, but no disc art, just a plain black disc and just an image on the back of the Steelbook. I'm not the biggest Steelbook guy, as I always mention, much to the Steelbook lovers' chagrin, I'm sure. Sorry, Jake. I know I love Jake, and I love his love for Steelbooks, and he probably hates that I always mention that I'm not a Steelbook guy. But if I am going to buy a Steelbook, it's really gotta sell me on it. It's really got to be some great art, and I think the middle one was the nicest one. But that's secondary to the film itself. Getting the film in 4K is, of course, the most important thing. But I also appreciate good artwork too. Let's see what people are saying in the chat over here. Let me scroll back up and catch up with people. Beetlejuice, very, very excited about Ace Ventura coming to 4K. I saw that. Let me know what you think about that artwork. That's very different than what I would expect from an Ace Ventura cover. Saw that in my feed just a couple days ago. Beetlejuice, big Ace Ventura fan. Jar Jar Eds, so many releases, good lord. Exactly, that's why I'm talking quick. I always talk quick, but I feel like I gotta talk even faster tonight. Magnitude Rev loves Anora. Mr. Jones, genre film with a metric ton more going on than you'd think. A studio and industry that underestimated what it could do, driven by steady WOM. Don't be surprised if it gets a lot of Oscar nominations. I don't know what film he's talking about. Did he mention something earlier? Oh, he did. He mentioned Sinners, non-physical media related, but I cannot recommend Sinners enough. I predict it will be this year's Everything Everywhere All at Once. I saw some people talking about that. It could either be Everything Everywhere All at Once or it could be Dune 2, one of those early in the year releases that can either be forgotten by Oscar season or can stick around or get like a second wind like Everything Everywhere All at Once did. I'm really excited to see it, and I haven't been excited to go to the theater in a while, actually. Like, I have not been watching new movies very much, but that one I've heard nothing but spectacular things about, so I can't wait to see it. Internet user says apparently Sean Baker will be filming his next film pretty soon. Heck, that dude is a workaholic. He's like Wes Anderson, cranking one out every year. Dan Sten, also a big fan of Anora. Magnitude Rev, yeah, if A24 ever announced one of their nice Digipack releases for the Florida project, I would purchase it immediately. That is going to be interesting to watch, because now that they have the rights back to all their future films and they're putting out all their films directly instead of working with other studios, I don't know what the rights are for their earlier films. I was watching a video by Jeff, and I think he was kind of theorizing about this. Hopefully that means that they eventually will get other films from the back catalog that I haven't bought yet, and they'll put them in those nice Digipack packaging. It seems like they're done with the special editions. They haven't done one of those big box set special editions in a while. They're focusing on just the colored spine Digipacks, which is all right. I prefer the tall ones, but I do like the small ones too. I love the colors of them. I love the uniformity of them, like I was just saying earlier. So if they could go back and do like Ex Machina and Ghost Story and some of their other earlier films that didn't get releases from them, that would be awesome. I would definitely be down to go back and get some of those. What else do we have tonight? Here we go. Finally getting into the Steelbooks here. Mr. Jones says, I think I prefer Magnum Force to Dirty Harry. Hal Holbrook is killing it. Magnitude Rev 35 is still too expensive for me. I want that Snowpiercer release, but I don't want to spend that much on it. I'm with you, man. I agree. I think 30 is maybe my limit for like a non-boutique. I know it's kind of hypocritical coming from me because I spend a lot of money on boutique stuff sometimes, but when you can get a Deaf Crocodile, like speaking of, I got the new Deaf Crocodiles here that I haven't got a chance to watch yet because I've been watching so many other things. This big, nice, ultra thick, like hard box with a booklet and a Skinavo case in there, like for $33.99, I think these go for on Diabolic DVD. That's and you're just giving me a Steelbook for $35. I know it has a slipcover and everything, and it is amazing artwork. I really do want that Snowpiercer Steelbook. If it drops to like maybe $32, I know that's ridiculous. It's just $3, but it's kind of the principle, man. I really want to get that Snowpiercer, and it's still in stock. I don't think it went out of print. Maybe it has, but I'm with you. It's just a little bit too high for me for some reason, and I can't really explain it because, like I said, I do buy expensive boutiques. Let's see. Whoa, I just lost the chat. Jason Morbies, again, please leave more comments because I love saying your name. Steelbooks excite me as much as watching grass grow. Unless he is a big horticulturist, I think that's a dig at Steelbooks. I don't hate Steelbooks as much as Jason does, but yeah, it's not like a huge plus. I'll get them if I have to, if it's the only way to get it. And sometimes they look pretty cool. Billy, the Eastwood Steelbooks are $30 each on Grove. There you go, Magnitude Rev. You might be able to grab those for $32. Excuse me, I said Grove. Groove, I believe is how you pronounce that. I've never used Groove. I've used so many different movie sites at this point, but I still haven't used Groove. Maybe I need to jump on the bandwagon. Benra says, hopefully A24 releases Past Lives too. Yes, Past Lives got a Lionsgate release, but it would be really cool to get like an updated 4K in the Digipack. Adam says, Def Croc is one of the best labels. I agree. I know their movies aren't for everybody, but I really like their stuff. And Adam says, I have no problem spending $33, $34 on their releases. I wouldn't either. I'm lucky that they send these to me, but I would definitely pick these up if they weren't. I used to pick them up before they started sending them to me. So I can stand up for those. We got a new Billy Plimpton release. I don't know why I said Billy. We got a Bill Plimpton release, another animated film from Bill Plimpton. And then we got Freckled Max and the Spooks. I shot a short about these, and I will shoot a full review when I get time to take a look at them. But man, Slavic film, in a weird castle with fantasy creature. It sounds great. I can't wait to watch it. And Deaf Crocodiles are always nice, breezy, fun watches. Sometimes they do some longer, more epic cinema, but for the most part, they're just really fun out there stuff, and I really enjoy it. Let's get back to the movies here, because like I said, we got to move quick through these. We're going to go quick through probably the Vinegar Syndrome releases, because we don't usually get too much conversation about those, and I just want to shout them out real quick and then move on. This is the Beyond 4K. This is not from Vincent. It's some Grindhouse releasing, and it's a big release. It's top 4 as most anticipated. Look at this thing. Look at this massive box set. There's a lot of box sets coming out from like very small labels that we don't talk about very much on this channel. I saw, what was that? I'm never going to remember what it was. You guys might know what I'm talking about. Mondo Vision, which is like a very small American company that pretty much exclusively puts out boutique releases of one director. And I just saw another one of his releases that was announced this week, and I'm excited to talk about. But we'll have to talk about that later because it's not coming out yet. This is the Beyond. It's got this really cool, like, you got the standard outer cover that's just kind of generic, but then inside, in this like inner hard box here, you got this book design, which looks really cool. Looks like it comes with an eyeball. I don't know anything about this film, but I'm assuming it's like a zombie film, and there's all this really cool artwork on the discs. You got 5 discs here. You got a nice thick booklet there. This is following a series of supernatural accidents. It comes clear that a remote and cursed hotel was built over one of the entrances to hell. That's a fun premise. That's really cool. I don't know anything about this. 1981, 3 different cuts. It's got the deluxe limited edition I don't even know how to say the name. Is it Ebon? Ibon would be 2 on the nose, right? Eye of Ebon edition, 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and CD. Yes, include more CDs on your releases, guys. I love that. 3,500 copies, limited to only 3,500. And there you go. That's a really nice, unique box set. I'll have to look more into the film. I don't know if it's for me or not, but it's got a fun, wacky premise. Next up, let me know if you guys have seen Beyond. Very generic title, or The Beyond. Then we've got Timecop. Van Damme. People excited about this one. Shout Factory. Shout Factory's been, we had a recent Van Damme film that was a Steelbook, but Shout Factory I feel like has been doing a couple of his films recently. There's the cover on that, just the original poster. You can usually get Murder is Forever until now. Wow, there's so much text on here. They killed his wife 10 years ago. There's still time to save her. Look at this guy. So yeah, that's, original poster, which you can usually count on Shout Factory to just do original poster. There's the slipcover. Same artwork. You're not buying from Shout Factory for the bells and whistles. You just want these films. These films that they're prioritizing that other labels aren't. Apparently this is based on a comic book, which I didn't know. It says right here. At least that's what it says on Blu-ray.com. But yeah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I need to read the synopsis on that one. It basically gave the whole synopsis on the cover in the original poster, 1994 action film with Van Damme. And speaking of action films around the 90s, we've got Lethal Weapon, which I didn't even recognize this as Lethal Weapon because this artwork does not give me Lethal Weapon vibes. It's very, I don't know. Is that like specific? I'm sure it's a specific reference to the film, but it's kind of cheesy. I don't know. It's a little like the little note on the back. I feel like it could have used some of the effects from that second Clint Eastwood Steelbook. Like put some textures on there, put some distress on that paper. It's just like a very simple white piece of paper with some, I don't know, just a standard handwritten font. Not crazy about this artwork, but I know a lot of people are super excited about getting Lethal Weapon on 4K. I know when it was announced, people were immediately up in arms about where's the rest of the films on 4K, but maybe they'll start doling them out one at a time. Here's the first one, 1987. I will always remember the Lethal Weapon films from the Always Sunny parodies, or not parodies, I guess like sequels. Love Always Sunny, great show. Lethal Weapon 4K and digital. Again, Warner Brothers not putting Blu-rays anymore. I don't know if that's across the board, but at least for these Steelbooks that we've been talking about today, Warner Brothers only using 4K and digital. And again, at that $35 price range. So there you go. I don't know. Let me know if people are happy about this. Let me know if the artwork doesn't seem to be selling people. People upset that it's not a four movie pack, just the one by itself. I'm sure they'll release a 4-movie pack down the road like they did with Rocky, just to get you, they got to get you to double dip, which is a little sleazy. Seems a little shady. Murder Rock. Very different. You got a lawyer versus a 1984 horror thriller film from Italy. And I'm scared to click on this because I don't know if I should click on that artwork or not. But there's the slipcover. It's from Vinegar Syndrome, so it's like a 90% chance that I can't show the slipcover. But it is it's a Vinegar Syndrome exclusive until May 27th. Is that what they're doing now? They're only exclusive for like a limited time, and then they're going to release it to everybody? That seems weird. I guess if it sells out, then it stays an exclusive. But if not, you can just wait. That's weird. That seems another weird little. We got a lot of like weird practices going on in physical media right now that we should probably talk about at some point. I know a lot of people have like been doing these videos where they air their grievances about collecting, and I never seem to have time. I don't know how people find time to do those videos. I'm always trying to keep up with what's coming out, and I never have time to shoot those little fun discussion videos anymore, but I'd love to do it. It is a 1984 film, limited to, I guess we don't know if it doesn't have a limited number. It's limited for a short time, and then it's going to be open to the masses. But it's Murder Rock getting a 4K release. Vincent doing a lot of 4K releases recently. Seems like they're fully on the bandwagon there. And then also from Vincent, we've got 2 more here, and then I'll talk to you guys in the chat. We've got Drop Zone, which is the most recent cinematograph release. Jeffrey Patron, always in the chat, he picked this up. He's got an amazing cinematograph. I'm very jealous of his cinematograph collection. He's got almost everything. In fact, I'm thinking about trading him my Red Rock West, because that's like one of the only ones he doesn't have. So I'm talking to him in the chat. Maybe we'll do a trade video in the future or something like that. But this is Drop Zone, and it comes with a little parachute guy. Remember those? Remember those when you go to the bowling alley and you spend $30 in games, and then you go up to the front with like 500 tickets, and all you can afford is a little parachute guy. Good times. 1994 again. We can't get away from 1994 this evening. Really cool artwork. I have fallen off the cinematograph bandwagon. I haven't been picking those up lately, but it looks pretty cool. I like the artwork. I have no idea what that Wesley Snipes movie is about, but it's about something about parachutes and action thrilling. So check out Drop Zone. The synopsis was like 3 paragraphs long, so I didn't have time to read it. But moving on to Devil Fetus and Her Vengeance, a double feature from Vinegar Syndrome. Slipcover and original pressing, limited to 6,000 copies like usual. Just a Blu-ray, not a 4K on this one. Another one that I'm scared to click on the slipcover, but looks like she's doing the nasty with this green scaly lizard man who is the devil, and a fetus is produced. $45 for that one. 2 films from the 80s, 83 and 88. Devil Fetus and Her Vengeance. I don't know what the connection is. I don't know why they're putting them both on the same thing, but it looks like they are Chinese films. Chinese horror films. Fascinating. Vinegar Syndrome, you always know what you're getting with that. Great stuff across the board. I mean, they put out all kinds of stuff, so I guess you don't always know what you're getting, but they usually divide it up into different partner labels, so you have a good idea of what you're getting. Anyway, let's scroll back and see what people are saying about this. Where were we? No Borders. The A24 The Brutalist is really nice. Played very well on a 4K laser protection. Only thing better would be the 70mm print. Nice extras. Magnitude Rev, Def Crocodile's physical releases always look great packaging-wise, but none of their titles have interested me at all. None of their titles? They have like 30 titles, man. There's some great stuff in there. You gotta... I guess if you've seen my video, I talked about all of them. So if none of them interest you, sorry, but there's some really, really good movies in there. Jason Morbies ordered that Beast from Grindhouse releasing. The Beyond, it's such a good film. It looks like a great release also. Okay, so we got some praise for it. So it is a good movie. I mean, sometimes, like, what did we get? That, like, Leprechaun movie? Not Leprechaun. It was Rumpelstiltskin. Like, that was a beautiful release, and I almost wanted to buy it just for that, but I'm like, I'm not going to watch Rumpelstiltskin. But it's good to know that's a good movie, too. Dan Sten says The Beyond is a classic Lucio Fulci film, so yeah. So maybe I should look more into that. I don't know. I'm on the fence. Robert Rogers. DJ, in the latest Criterion Closet video, Rosamund Pike talks about her love of the Czech New Wave, and I immediately thought of you. She picked up Knife in the Water and Daisies. I love Daisies. I haven't seen I don't even know what Knife in the Water is, but thanks for the recommendation. I'll have to look that up. Thank you, Robert and Rosamund. Actually, that's not the latest. I think the latest is Ben Affleck, which I was just listening to before I hopped on the stream. Just came out this like 7 hours ago, something like that. Dwayne says the Lethal Weapon artwork is from a scene in the movie. That said, it sucks. Boring. That's what I thought. I mean, I knew it was a reference to the movie, but yeah, it just looks kind of flat and like you said, boring. Ethan also says they should have done a Lethal Weapon 4K set with all 4 films. And then he says you beat me to it. Well, I have the advantage because I'm ahead and there's a lag. So Robert, in other Criterion Closet news, multimillionaire Ben Affleck showed up and he stuffed half the closet in his bag. He was going ham. I didn't even get that far in. I think I was like 2 minutes in and he already grabbed like 12 films. So yeah, he's a lucky guy. It's always weird to me when like these rich people who could probably just buy the entire collection in one fell swoop are like going crazy in there. Like you could just buy it. You could just support them at full price instead of picking them all up for free. I don't know. I feel like they probably do donate or something afterwards. Maybe not. I guess they're just donating their presence as marketing for their company. Michael Smith got my Beyond copy today. Beautiful release. That's so. There's nothing like getting a pre-order the day before we talk about it on this show. Very exciting. Someday I'd like to be a part of that someday. I've never felt that. I've never pre-ordered anything, but someday. I'm looking forward to it. Patrick Williams, love them 4K Steelbooks like Steelbook Obsessed does on his channel. Okay, good. See, I know a lot of people do love them, and I'm coming around. I've been picking up more Steelbooks, recently. I had a low point, and then I'm starting to come back up. People like Steelbook Obsessed who are super enthusiastic and excited about them. Baloney, if a release has a limited time frame with one company, other companies can prep the release and have it ready, and that could create a flow of availability. Yeah, well, I mean, that's another thing that we're in the middle of right now is we've got all of these releases, all these films that are getting rights from multiple labels, especially someone like me who collects like globally. I collect Australian movies. Speaking of, we've got some Viavision releases here that I can't wait to dig into. I actually already did a little review of these. Pop these in the player, Dracula and Jason and the Argonauts. It's crazy because it's same thing with The Fall. Like The Fall just got a release from Australia from Imprint, and Umbrella, which I'm still on the fence. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up or not because I know it's going to get an American release at some point. Probably Arrow would be a good fit for that one. So I don't know. It's tough. You never know. You just kind of got to stick to the labels that you like and just hope. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough being a collector. Prisms. Hey, films. It's been a long time. Have you seen Marley and Me? So cute and wholesome. I've never seen Marley and Me, but it is good to see you, Prisms. It has been a long time since you've been here. Welcome back. Welcome to the stream. Sorry to disappoint. I have not seen Marley and Me. I don't know. There's big ones. Like there's all those films that you never know if you need to go back to. Like especially when I was in high school and like these films were like big, huge cultural phenomenon. Like Napoleon Dynamite was a movie I never saw, but everyone in my high school was talking about it. I don't know. I feel like I should go back and see that one because that seems like my kind of thing. I like those indie, like mid-2000s quirky indie movies. So I think that one, I'll go back. not really a dog movie guy, though. I don't know. I don't know about Marley and Me. The Nesting getting a 4K Blu-ray combo pack, limited to 6,000 copies, also from Vinegar Syndrome. Same exact thing. You got another supernatural horror film from the 80s. That seems like what they're doing this week. A writer of gothic mysteries moves into a secluded mansion to write novels. Her plans are changed when she discovers the house is haunted. A tale as old as time. Those ghosts are always haunting authors for some reason. But there you go. The Nesting. We've also got Dirty Harry 4K with even more, like, good God, this is the worst artwork ever. This is not the Steelbook. This will make anyone a Steelbook fan. Looking at this for more than 5 minutes. Look at this artwork. Yeesh. Yeesh. Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry 4K digital. Is there even a slipcover? There isn't even a slipcover. Wow. I feel like they're trying to convert us. I feel like I'm being evangelized for Steelbooks with the crappy artwork alternatives that they're giving us these days, and then they're putting all their money on the expensive Steelbooks. It seems like they're really trying to make us like Steelbooks. And maybe it's working. Maybe I'm succumbing to it. Amazon $23.79. Not even that much cheaper. I guess $10, a little bit more than $10 cheaper. Yeesh. Yeesh. That's all I can say, apparently, is yeesh. We'll go through the other two real quick while we're here. We've got the Outlaw Josey Wales. Again, just like, God, it looks like, you know when a 50s movie or like example, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Day the Earth Stood Still comes out in the 50s. It's got this amazing visuals and this really, really cool classic poster. And then it comes out later in the 90s with Keanu Reeves, I think. And then they re-release the first one on Blu-ray. And the cover of it looks like this gross blue-gray, like, it looks like the new movie. They, like, reshape the new movie poster into the old movie, and it looks awful. It looks absolutely terrible. That's what this looks like. It looks like when you get a 50s movie or a 40s or 30s movie, and they re-release it on DVD in, like, the 90s, and they just slap this on the front. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, I'm going to make the same face he's making. Ugh. Ugh. It makes me grimace. It's like that Clint Eastwood gif that's just like a grimace. That's what this makes me do. Here's another one. Just a different image of Clint Eastwood with a different shade. We got an orange one, we got a blue one, we got a gray one. That's what you get. Different grimaces. Ugh. Terrible. Yeah. Don't like it. Get the Steelbooks. Oh, look at me. I'm turning into a Steelbook fan. I didn't even show you that last one because I didn't like the look of it. Look at that. Look at that. Ugh. There's that one. He's not a fan of the own artwork that he's on. And then here's another one. Grimace number 3. Boom. Yeesh. Cold grimace. Frosty grimace for the third one. Not a fan. Not a fan. But if you just like the discs, if you're a fan that just wants the movies as cheap as possible, there you go. You got those 3. We got Devil Doll and Curse of the Voodoo right here. 2 films by Lindsay Shonteff. I don't know how to say that name. Sounds like a Hobbit name. The slip is looking pretty cool. You know, looks like a Vincent slip. There you go. It looks like that's like artwork, an artist they use quite a bit. 1964 and 1965, limited to 5,000 copies from Vinegar Syndrome. Devil Doll, not the Devil Doll directed by Todd Browning, which I just picked up from Sean in the Warner Archive sale. It's a different Devil Doll from the 60s, a little bit later. You can get that from Vinegar Syndrome's website. We got Stripes on 4K. I threw this in the thumbnail, even though it's way down on the list. I feel like people will be excited about this. Sony Pictures also dropping a few Steelbooks this week, along with Warner Brothers. We got a Stripes Steelbook. A little bit more work put into this one. Kind of the standard poster there on the front. You got some depth there with the people standing in front of them. And then over here, you got some photos on the back. It kind of looks like that baseball Steelbook that came out last year with the magnets. Like it kind of looked like a locker. This kind of looks, I don't know, like a brick wall with magic floating photos on it. So I guess it's not really the same, but there we go. We got Stripes, 4K, Blu-ray, and digital. So Sony is putting Blu-rays in their Steelbooks, but the catch is they're charging $50 for them. Good grief. $50. Big difference from the Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers undercutting them by a lot. Sony Pictures, you got to get off the Disney train. That is steep. What's the other one coming out this week? We'll jump to that one. This is from Sony Pictures as well. We've got Gandhi on Steelbook, 4K, Blu-ray, and digital. Again, you do get the Blu-ray, but you're going to pay list-priced $66. Good Lord. Gandhi. I don't know if anyone's that excited about Gandhi. Great film, but look at this. I mean, 3 discs, 2 4Ks, and a Blu-ray, and another Blu-ray? I don't know what that last disc is. I guess I got to look into it. But there we go. It's beautiful artwork. I love the art. I actually like this probably better than most of the ones we've seen. Maybe that second Clint Eastwood Steelbook. And that is steep though. $65 list price, $48 right now on Amazon. Another 80s film. I don't know what to say, guys. I'm just the bearer of bad news. I don't make the rules. I just report them. And yeah, that's crazy. Let's see. We'll just knock out a couple more here in this row, and then we'll talk to you guys. Cannibal Girls, coming out from 1973 from CIP, Canadian International Pictures, which is obviously a partner label from Vincent. Look at that. Look at that. Canadian CIP, another super diverse label, just like Deaf Crocodile. Like, they put out children's films, horror films, all kinds of stuff at CIP. Then we've got Up. Not that Up. This is Up with an exclamation point. Very, very different 4K Blu-ray release from Severin Films, 1976. Something's going up. That is, if you don't see Up, you'll feel down. A robust American fun movie. Russ Meyer's Up. There we go. You got swastikas on the front. I don't know what the heck that movie's about. But 1976, Up, coming to Blu-ray. Couldn't be more different than the Up we know and love. Then we've also got Short Night of Glass Dolls, 4K Blu-ray from Celluloid Dreams. Celluloid Dreams releasing Short Night of Glass Dolls. Look at the madness that's going on here. There's more. What in the world? This is a standard slipcover release, but it's got more art cards in it than you can keep track of. Look at all this stuff. Tons. This is such a weird. Okay, I gotta critique this like production. What is this? This is like a hype image where the art cards are like way bigger than the. What is happening here? This is a Photoshop nightmare. We've got the are these posters? Why are these so giant? Are all of these coming out of this slipcover? I don't know what's happening here. Somebody needs to buy this release and tell me what's going on. Short Night of Glass Dolls is apparently a standard slipcover release, but it's got gigantic poster, like 17 posters coming out of it. I don't know what that is. Sorry, Celluloid Dreams. I didn't do a good job of selling that for you. But that was a weird publicity still. Anyway, let's get back. I'm way off track, and we got a lot to get through, and I'm already off the rails. Let me see what people are saying. Oh, okay. No Borders. The umbrella boxes are worth it. Don't wait for the USA. That's what I hear. Everyone always tells. Yeah, everyone's been telling me. I need to jump on the umbrella. I have my cart. I have 4 things in my cart. It's only like $160 because I've got like the Umbrella 15 discount code. I've got free shipping. I need to just go ahead and pull the trigger, but for some reason I'm still on the fence. Jeffrey, I think Ben Affleck should have taken more titles. Where was the Chasing Amy pickup? Do they still? I wonder if they still have the OOP titles in there. That would be really funny if they still had the Chasing Amy DVD in there. Speaking of dog films, according to Google's, Oh Heavenly Dog needs a UHD. Well, yeah, I'm not against all dog films. I just, there's a type of dog film. You know that dog film where he just keeps getting reincarnated and like dies over and over, and it's like really touching and sad. That's the kind of dog film I'm talking about. Magnitude Rev, fun fact about Napoleon Dynamite: the director just this past month directed a Minecraft movie. Wow. I actually saw about 5 seconds of the Minecraft movie because I went to the wrong theater by mistake, and I was trying to see Death of a Unicorn, and the movie opened and it was black screen, and then all of a sudden I hear Jack Black's voice start talking, and then I bolted out of the theater. Thank goodness, because there was some annoying high schoolers sitting directly in front of me, and I did not want to watch a whole movie with them, so I went to another theater, and then there was nobody else in the theater because that movie did not do well. Joshua LeBur, Dan's Den, agreed. Odd shift in tone from the first. I don't know what he's talking about. This is what happens when I jump in the middle of people's conversations. Ethan says he's sticking with his Blu-ray digibook of Dirty Harry. 12-pack. Am I the only one who considers not having a 1080p Blu-ray a deal breaker? No, I've heard a lot of people say that. People love having all their different formats, and it seems like a weird omission. The consistency thing is like if we just made a decision across the board, then I would be more okay with it. But the fact that it's like you never know if you're going to get a Blu-ray or not, it's a little confusing and kind of frustrating. Let me scroll down. Let me scroll back up here. Ooh, interesting. Internet user, will you be picking up the essential Polish animation release from Radiance Films? Absolutely. I didn't even know that was happening. Thanks for the heads up. I didn't I need to. That's like my brand, man. Dwayne, why not just use the original posters instead of these hideous Clint Eastwood standard editions? I don't know, man. They're trying to get you to buy the Steelbooks. Sam Smith, yo, chat. Yo, DJ, have a great show tonight. I've got a new cover in today's bunch, Tale of Sorrow, Sadness from Radiance. I can't wait to get to it, man. Yeah. So we've got a professional artist in the chat, Sam's Myth. He's killing it, man. He's putting out releases with Radiance and other boutique labels that he probably can't talk about yet, but we're going to talk about it in just a minute. He sent me this artwork a few months ago, and I'm excited for him, man. Can't wait to pick up a copy. That's really cool. KB loves movies. Hey, DJ, if you bought the 3 Sony Steelbooks, you could have bought a Columbia Classics box set. Seriously, man, the Steelbooks are outrageous these days. It seems like every company is late to the party, and I don't know. It's really weird because Steelbooks were big like 3 years ago, and now all of a sudden everybody's getting. Is that how long it takes to set up a Steelbook factory or something? Now everyone's finally catching up and thinks everybody loves Steelbooks. I don't know what's going on. It seems like most people have moved on, and now we're just getting a big boom of them. Dwayne says, gotta respect Russ Meyer. He made a career out of loving big naturals. I don't know who Russ Meyer is, but apparently he made a film called Up. That's the extent of my knowledge. Carrie Witt, a plot synopsis on a Russ Meyer movie is about boobs always. Wow, I didn't know that. So he's got a trademark. He's got a signature, apparently, that I was not aware of until I clicked on that thing. Dan's Den, A Dog's Purpose is the name of the reincarnation dog movie. There you go. Dan's always there. He's always there when you need him to think up an obscure, terrible film. I don't do Blu-rays except for bonuses or exclusive releases because of my vision. Besides, DVDs are cheaper. I can thrift them, says Prisms. So Prism's still rocking the DVDs. I know there are a lot of people that do that, and I'm with you. I miss thrifting. Like my collection doesn't really include DVDs or thrifting, even like I can't even find Blu-rays in stores anymore that really fit into my collection. So it's a bummer. Like I really miss rifling through shelves and grabbing stuff, but it's just I don't find stuff there anymore. Like I go to CD Warehouse and like every maybe 10 visits I'll find something cool, but I really miss rifling through that stuff. It's a lot of fun. Let's see. Magnitude Rev. Wow, we're getting heated tonight. I genuinely hate Steelbooks, overpriced and doesn't actually provide any interesting booklets with them. You know me, you know my opinion. I've stated it many times. Yeah, I much prefer like a booklet or some kind of information or some supplements or something. Whereas just the packaging itself doesn't really do anything. Doesn't move the needle for me. Even though some of them, look really nice, but I much prefer a hard box. Throw me one of these. This Jason the Argonauts. If this had a booklet though, Viavision needs to get booklets, because if this had a booklet, it would be perfect. All right, let's get back. Let's start knocking these out because we're not making much progress here. No fault of your guys. You guys are giving me some. You guys are great. I love talking to you guys, but I kind of got to do a thing here, so I'm gonna jump over things to do in Denver when you're dead. Getting a 4K Blu-ray release from Kino Lorber. We haven't even talked about Kino Lorber tonight. They're on the list as always. Andy Garcia, right there. Ooh, that is an interesting font choice. Looks good for the time. 1995. Again, we can't get out of the 90s. Wow, interesting. We've got a nice little crime drama directed by. Interesting. That's a Kino Lorber release. They're a dime a dozen. There's a bunch of them. Nothing against Kino Lorber, but they put out like 30 things a month. More, I think. And then we've got The Belly of an Architect from Vinegar Syndrome. Slipcover and original pressing. 1987 film. Just a straight up drama film. Look at that. Art is the food for madness. Look at that. You've got the interesting artwork there. I appreciate it. I had to look at that thing a million times in art school. 1987 Belly of an Architect. And then we've got Motorcycle, which I'm assuming is a action horror film. It's from 1965. It's got it's also got boobs on the front. It's got a nice big motorcycle coming right at the screen. I like this kind of throwback. I guess it's not a throwback because it's a 1960s film, so I guess it's just the genuine poster of the film. Comes with a nice slipcover there from Severin Films. Severin Films showing up a little bit. $48, $60 original list price. That's another thing I hear about Severin is that they're very expensive and they don't include very much in the way of like extras or bonuses or stuff. Wacky Races. It's funny that these two lines ended up right next to each other. We got Wacky Races, the complete series from Warner Brothers. This is a Warner Archive collection. Look at this. This is fun. I don't know what this is. I'm assuming this is obviously a Hanna-Barbera show from the time. It's got a lot of... Hanna-Barbera was... like, they did so many... They had all their shows, but then they did all these weird, like, crossover things and completely independent shows that look like crossovers. Like, this, it looks like it's got some Flintstones in it. It looks like it's got... There's a lot of characters that were, like, in each other's shows. Like, I was just watching one of the Yogi Bear... Well, my kids were watching one of the Yogi Bear films, and, like, the Pink Panther shows up, and the little white dog guy shows up. Like, everyone is just... they're all over the place. It was madness in the 60s. Hanna-Barbera was crazy, but it was a lot of fun. And Warner Archive is putting out a ton of their stuff. I still hope they do more Scooby-Doo stuff. They started out strong with the Scooby-Doo, and now they're going everywhere else but Scooby-Doo. I really want some of those series that have never been on disc ever. Put those out on Blu-ray, Warner Archive. What are you doing? Not that Wacky Races is not, that's cool. That's cool. I guess. I don't know anything about Wacky Races, but I'm sure some people are excited about it. From Wacky Races to Mad Foxes, Cauldron Films is putting out this beauty of a slipcover. Mad Foxes, limited edition 4K Blu-ray, Dolby Vision, and Master Audio. Cauldron Films, great logo. It's kind of a mouthful of a logo, but it looks cool. 1981 again. This is the shortest synopsis of the night, so we'll go ahead and read it. A man seeks revenge after a biker gang murders his family. That is also the plot of the first Mad Max film. Maybe this is a copy of Mad Max? It's called Mad Foxes. I don't know. Could be. Then we've got V Cinema Essentials. This is pretty cool. This is from Arrow Video. Another label we haven't talked about at all this evening. Well, look at this. Speaking of limited editions, this is awesome. See, this is and what was the price of this? This is probably really expensive, actually. Look, this is egregious. $63 right now, and you get a giant box set. It looks like a hard box. If I can get the right image to open up again. There we go. You get a hard box. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individual cases with the disc in each case. All 5 discs with original artwork on the front. You get all these art cards, and you get a big, thick, like 100-page booklet. I know it's list price at $100, but right now it's only $63, which is the list price for just a dang Steelbook. What in the world? What is the world coming to? Boutiques are the cheap movies now. What are the studios smoking? This is ridiculous. Look at all these movies you get. How many movies is this? 9 movies. 9 movies, 5 discs, 15 art cards, a 100-page booklet, and a partridge in a pear. You basically get everything. It's like all 12 days of Christmas in this box, and it's only $63. Go buy from Arrow. I don't even buy that many Arrow releases, but I support this. This is awesome. What are these movies? I don't even know what these are. I'm just so excited about the release. Japanese films. Japanese crime films. There you go. That's all you need to know. Pick it up. Get some bang for your buck. I'm appalled. By these Steelbook salesmen. Full Metal Jacket. Speaking of Steelbooks from Warner Brothers, this one's only $30. Here you go. Full Metal Jacket, getting a $30. And I don't think this is a first release or anything. It's probably a re-release, but it's a new Steelbook. There you go. $30 for Full Metal Jacket from Stanley Kubrick. That's a nice price. That's right about the limit. Here we go. Oh, sorry, I got hot for a second. Let me calm down. A little bit with Full Metal Jacket. It's ironic that Full Metal Jacket is the thing that's calming me down, but there we go. Everybody knows Full Metal Jacket, $30. If you missed the Steelbook the first time, get the 4K Steelbook now. Then we got Last Tango in Paris from Distrib-Pix. This was a big one. This was a hot one. I don't even know if this is in print. I think this one might have gone completely out of print already. There was like multiple different artwork editions for this release. Vinegar Syndrome putting out like a bunch of different versions, or I think it was just 2 different versions, but it took the internet by storm. People were very excited about it. It went out of print, I think. I don't have my facts entirely straight about this, but it's Last Tango in Paris, big film, 4K from Bertolucci, and I think another one that subscriber of the channel, Jeffrey Patron, picked up, and he sent me a video of him unboxing it. Thanks for sending that. I enjoyed looking at that. I didn't pick it up, and it seems like I might have missed my chance if it is indeed out of print. I don't know. It seems like Vinegar Syndrome stuff is going out of print so fast. It's like they put out a whole bunch of stuff for months that nobody wants and sits on the shelves, and then they put out these big tentpole releases, and then it's like everybody grabs them. Same thing happened with Beavers last year. Hundreds of Beavers, to be more specific. Birth, Rebirth, 2023 from Shudder. Slipcover and original pressing from Vincent, and it's Shudder, which is a partner label of Vincent. Shudder puts out new movies for the streaming service, and it's cool that they're doing physical media releases, though. That's nice. I didn't hear anything about that movie a couple of years ago, but Birth, Rebirth. And then we've got, finally, Basquiat, 4K Blu-ray combo pack from Criterion. Way too far down the list for a Criterion release. I love this artwork. It's fun. It's really cool. It is a photo, but it's, it's like, it's all artied up. Artied up? What am I saying? I need to take a break. I need to start incorporating breaks into this because I'm losing my mind. 1996, one movie, two different cuts of the film. So several people excited about this when it was announced a couple months back, but not as many because it's way down the list as far as most anticipated releases go. It is $50, and Criterion. I mean, we kind of give Criterion a pass because they give us the 50% off sales, but their stuff is expensive too, and it always has been, and they've been consistent with it. And you could maybe consider them part of the problem with why other labels and other studios are starting to charge that much, because they kind of set the benchmark. But we always buy them in the 50% off sale anyway, so I don't even think about them being that expensive. But another 1996 film, so a lot of stuff from the 90s. All right, we got more coming out. I'm going to jump into that Radiance release that was already teased by the artist a minute ago, and that's in the next row. But let's go ahead and talk to you guys, because I've been rambling for a while, all over the place. I'm sure I've offended at least a few people. Let's see. Let's scroll back up. Here we go. I'm going to jump right here. 12-pack 96. My favorite Steelbook release is Popstar Never Stopping from Shout Factory. For those who haven't seen it, it's based on a scene that actually off-screen, and it's hilarious. Yeah, it's kind of cool if you put a reference in there. I'm okay with that. Evil Wax. Hi, DJ and chat. Joining late, but glad I could catch you live this week. Glad you could catch us live. Throw us a comment in the chat or a question or something since you're here live. Carrie Witt, Motorcycle was 100 Blu-ray for a very long time. Was 100 Blu-ray? What does that mean? Oh, you mean like the I don't know what that means. Like 100 gigabyte Blu-ray? No Borders. LOL. Peter Greenaway is not a straight up drama. Belly Architect. His films are wild, like Zed and Two Knots or The Cook, The Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover. Oh, well, I'm going to have to take it up with Blu-ray.com for listing that as a drama. Yeah, they gave me no details on it. The artwork looked interesting, but the only thing I know about it is that, according to Blu-ray, is a drama. That's false advertising. What else we got here? Michael Smith used to watch Wacky Races every Saturday morning. Dan's Den, the Pink Panther you're thinking of is actually named Snagglepuss. You learn something new every day. He is a Pink Panther, though. I stand by that. Luke S.E. loved Wacky Races as a kid. It was a racing show with multiple characters, like 12 every episode, and every episode had different tracks. And in every episode, Dick Dastardly tried to cheat and win. Oh, kind of like The Great Race. I like The Great Race. I also am a big fan of Herbie the Love Bug. There's a lot of racing of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. There's so many racing movies in the 60s. Racing was huge for some reason. They even did a Scooby-Doo movie on Hanna-Barbera about it, which was probably the weirdest Scooby-Doo movie ever. It's called The Reluctant Werewolf, where Shaggy becomes a werewolf who changes every time he gets the hiccups, and he gets kidnapped by Dracula and the other Transylvanian monsters and has to be in a race. The whole movie is about him being in a race so he can win his freedom. It was the 80s, man. JT, hello everyone. Late to the party due to work. Got a lot to conversations to catch up on. Welcome to the part of the stream where I forget how to speak, JT. Glad you could join us for that. Google's Peter Greenaway films are both good films, and what it must be like to go to Guantanamo Bay. I gotta check out this Peter Greenaway. I got two people talking about Greenaway all of a sudden. Luke SC, every character and their vehicle had their own unique skills. Wacky Races. People love it on Wacky Races. Carrie Witt says Wacky Races rules. You would dig it. Teams of characters race and cheat across the country. I think my son would love Wacky Races. They're big into Mario Kart right now. He loves Hanna-Barbera stuff. He loves Scooby-Doo, loves Yogi Bear. He's been watching through the other Warner Archive stuff, so I should probably pick up. How much is this? $25. I should probably pick that up. It is a little more expensive than I was expecting, though. Michael Smith, the Mad Foxes cover is top 5 worst covers ever. Wow, that's That's a lot. Magnitude Rev, that Arrow Video V Cinema Essentials box set is one I am tempted on, but I'm not very familiar with any of the titles in there. I mean, it's 9 films for $60. I mean, even if you don't love all the films, that's a pretty good deal. I don't know why I'm trying to sell that. I don't have an Arrow deal or anything. They've never sent me anything before. Not a sponsor. Chris Alders, greetings to fellow film lovers from Edmonton, Canada. Heyo. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. First person I know who watches from Canada. Let's try to get every continent in on one of these streams at some point. I know I got some people from overseas, but and I got some people from Australia. I think you're the first Canadian. Welcome. Welcome. Sam Smith, is this V Cinema another Tony Stella piece? The guy is a madman. I don't know. It looks like a cool set though. Kevin House, love wacky races. This is the highlight of the stream. People are really excited about this wacky races. I was not expecting this. I remember watching the show when it first appeared on Saturday morning TV. Wow, he was there from the very beginning. Marty says Digital Bits reported that the Looney Tunes Platinum editions are getting reissued. How many of these Looney Tunes releases have the same cartoons on them, or are they all different? I'm glad you mentioned that, because I gotta retract something that I said a couple weeks ago. Recently, Sean sent me 2 volumes of the Looney Tunes. Here, this is the Looney Tunes Collector's Choice. They did 4 of these, and then they completed them. And then they just started a new line. I can't remember what they're called, but it's different. These got about maybe 15 shorts on here, 15 animated cartoons. And the new ones have like 25. They're way more, but they are specifically ones that have never been released on DVD or Blu-ray. So I was totally wrong. I thought they were like double dipping and just starting over and re-releasing some. Completely different line. They're not crossing over with this at all. So that's actually really cool. And I have reason to pick up volumes 3 and 4 of this now, and then I can start collecting those other ones. I did hear also though that they're releasing the Platinum editions, which is crazy for a lot of reasons, because they're also doing these 2 other, like Warner Archive. Apparently the goal is to keep going with these collections. I don't know who I watch. There's a guy that does a lot of Looney Tunes stuff and animated stuff. Really cool channel. He's from Australia. You might know who he is. I don't remember his name. I watch his stuff occasionally, but he did a really good like breakdown of the Looney Tunes plans at Warner Archive. He like talks to them, and apparently the goal is for them to get every single cartoon on a Blu-ray at some point, eventually down the line. So it's weird that they're re-releasing the Platinum editions too, because I guess that's not Warner Archive, that's Warner Brothers proper. I don't know. I have almost splurged on those Platinum editions like several times on eBay, because they have these big, nice box set versions, and they're way too expensive. And I can never pull the trigger because I didn't want to pay that much. And I'm glad I waited, because now it seems like we're going to get them again. So that's pretty cool. Luke says Wacky Races over Scooby-Doo for him. The best Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Wow, I'm not a big car guy. I don't know if I would like Wacky Races. I feel like I would check out. Carrie Witt, Last Tango in Paris, a very infamous film. Not sure a great film, but it's out there now. And Adam says, still have my Hundreds of Beavers with Slip. Glorious. Recently got it too. It's back there. It is really, really nice. Magnitude Rev, photography is art, sips tea. Of course it is. Of course it is. So cinema. All kinds of different art. But everyone has their own, their own style, their own interests. Hero Jones, random question. What age do you remember Life from? Do I remember, like, just what's my earliest memory? I guess that's what you're asking. God, I have no idea. It's weird, because I have like memories from photos that I've seen of myself, but those aren't real memories. Those are like recreated memories. God, man, is it like, I don't know. I feel like I have a terrible memory from early on in life. I feel like it's like pretty late, like 6. Is that weird? I don't know if I can remember like a 4 or 5 year old memory. 6 maybe? 6 or 7. They're usually traumatic memories. Like I remember when I learned how to ride a bike when I was 7 years old, and I smashed into my neighbor's fence because I couldn't turn sharp enough, and I knocked her entire fence down to the ground. Looked over at my parents to see my dad just laughing at me. That was pretty traumatic. But I don't know, man. You stumped me with that one. What a doozy of a question. Marty, DJ, so does that mean if you're a Looney Tunes completist, one needs to own every Blu-ray edition that WB puts out? I mean, if you're, that's a question that only you can answer, man. I don't know. I'm going to try to keep up with them, but it depends on how many it takes. I'm not even the biggest Looney Tunes fan, but I did pop this in with the kids the other day, and they were really enjoying it. My son thinks Wile E. Coyote is hilarious. That's his favorite. Wile E. Coyote is definitely his favorite. John Malahai, hi everybody. What did I miss? Well, you missed a lot. We're already an hour into the show. Way to get here right at the hour mark. But yeah, you know what? You know the deal. We just look at movies, and you never buy them anyway, so it doesn't matter. But good to have you, John. Welcome back. He's been out of town all weekend at the TCM Film Festival, but good to have you back with us on this side of the country. Igor and the Lunatics, Vinegar Syndrome, horror film, 1985, 2 different cuts. Feel like a broken record. Limited to 4,000 copies, slipcover and original pressing. There you go. Igor and the Lunatics. Is it Igor or Igor? You never know. Side Street from Warner Archive Collection. Speaking of Warner Archive, we've got Side Street from 1950. A little film noir. This is cool. I feel like Warner Archive doesn't put out enough film noirs. They put out plenty, but not as many as... This is a really cool poster, too. Fate dropped $30,000 in his lap. There's always money. There's always a bunch of thousands of dollars just ending up in people's hands. And then it's a good premise. You figure out what you would do, and you get to question what you would do in that situation. That's why I really, really, really liked that Arrow release from last year. Oh, what's it called? The winter release. What's it called? It's right there. I can see it on the shelf. A Simple Plan. That's what it's about. You find some money, and you let the characters just do their thing, and you just get to watch it unfold. Film noir. Noirvember coming up at the end of the year. We got to do another big Noirvember binge. Musical May coming up in 3 days. Oh, 3 days. And I think we got to put together a list for that too. But Noirvember is right around the corner. Anthony Mann directed this film. That makes me interested. One of the most exciting things about Noirvember for me, because I'm not the biggest film, I've become a bigger film noir fan. My wife's getting me into the genre. But one of the coolest things for me is watching directors that I know from other genres that do other things really well and seeing their take on the film noir. It's fun. I actually quite enjoy that. I think like Michael Curtiz and like other directors who did noirs early on in their career, and then you can see where they went from there. Here we are, A Tale of Sorrow and Sadness. This is the one that Sam Smith mentioned earlier. He did the typography on this one, which is very cool. I'm kind of interested in this movie just for that, just because I know the artist who worked on the cover. He's a really cool guy. We're thinking about having him on the channel at some point. It will happen at some point. We just got to figure out a time to have a little conversation. I would love to get some insider feedback on working with these labels, and especially boutique labels, and doing artwork for them. I think that's really cool. This is a 1977 foreign film. Again, it just says drama, so I don't know what exactly it is. I'm going to read the synopsis on this one, though, because I am interested. It's a Suzuki film. A female golfer who has exceeded expectations to reach the top not only has to contend with being in demand, but also with the men in her life, her neighbors, her brother, and not to mention a stalker. Interesting. First thing I thought of was The Queen's Gambit for some reason. I don't know, like a female who's really, really good in her sport and has to deal with all of this drama and intrigue and stuff. That was a great show. I don't ever watch TV, but I watched that show, and it was really good. Anyway, A Tale of Sorrow and Sadness, coming from Radiance, killing it with the Japanese releases. Japanese, Italian, ton of that stuff coming out from Radiance. So if you're a big fan of those two countries, check it out. List price $40, but available right now for $26 on Amazon. They do US releases as well, so you don't even have to have a region-free player. You can just pick it up, $25, and you got a Scanavo case, limited edition, with a limited edition booklet inside there. Can't recommend Radiance enough. Love that company. Love you guys. Again, not a sponsor, but I actually really do like that company. Cries and Shadows, The Return of the Exorcist, getting a Blu-ray from Cauldron Films, our second Cauldron Films release. There's the artwork on that one. Nice little slipcover. The Return of the Exorcist. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. A little religious horror film. An erotic religious horror film, according to Blu-ray.com. Again, take all of my genres with a grain of salt, apparently, because I don't know if they're always right. But an Italian horror film. I don't know if it's considered a giallo film or not, but it is from 1975. Then we've got, next up, 38 Especial. Blu-ray, slipcover and original pressing from DeGausser Video, limited to only 2,000 copies, so a very, very small limited run on that one from 1992. A religious fanatic, again, is killing innocent women. A detective and radio personality psychologist team together to bring him to justice. Another horror film from a Vinegar Syndrome partner label. Then we got Warner Archive again. Very different than Wacky Races. But look at that wacky hairstyle. This is 1988. We've got Clean and Sober. I probably shouldn't make fun of it. It's a very serious film. Michael Keaton in an unexpected film about 30 remarkable days in the life of an ordinary man. There you go. There you go. Receding mullet in all, right there on the cover, 1988. Again, I don't need to read the synopsis because the poster had the entire synopsis on it. Glenn Gordon Caron? I'm not even familiar with that director. Shame on me. 1988. Michael Keaton. He got around in the 80s and 90s. We forget that because Batman eclipsed everything. But I guess Beetlejuice. Batman and Beetlejuice. Springfield Rifle getting a Blu-ray release from Warner Archive Collection as well. Starring Gary Cooper, an actor I can't seem to get away from lately. I keep seeing him pop up in things I'm watching. The Gun, The Girl, They Made One Man the Equal of Five. Look at this. Another Western film. I'm not familiar with the director, but it is 1952. It's the 50s. You got film noirs and you got westerns. What more could you want? 3 The Hard Way, Blu-ray, Warner Archive Collection. Again, Warner Archive is killing it this week. A 1974 action thriller film, starring. Let's see what this is about. Emmanuel Wolfe presents Jim Brown, Fred Williamson, Jim Kelly. 3 The Hard Way. Oh wow! Is this interesting? This is a martial arts action film. This is a blaxploitation film. It's got quotation marks on the title, which is hilarious and actually really funny. $25 on Amazon right now. All of these Warner Archives are right about $25. Weirdly enough, the list price is $21.99, but for some reason it's $24.99 right now. But there you go. 70s martial arts action film. All right, I should probably stop there. That looks like a good... I'll do these last two, and then... Is this also coming out this week? This is a crazy week for Criterion. First, we got Severance from Magnolia Pictures, not the show. And is this the same Severance film that has an Umbrella release? Speaking of Umbrella releases, it looks like it is. I don't know. Another Bloody Office Outing. This may be the same. Let me know if this is the same one that got an Umbrella release, but it is a horror film from 2006, a more modern one. And then right here from Criterion, I didn't realize this was the same week. All this stuff coming out the same week. We got Prince of Broadway. Also coming out by Sean Baker. 2 Sean Baker films in the same week. This is his 2008 film about bootlegging. I love this cover. This is one of the coolest Criterion covers. You got the Dark Knight peeking in right over there. Not sure how they got away with that. I guess they showed a certain percentage of the cover and they got away with it. Maybe they just asked Christopher Nolan because he is in the collection and he didn't care. Really cool cover. I like it quite a bit. You can see the tarp coming through right there. Prince of Broadway. Another one that I need to see. I'm interested in early Sean Baker. Because I haven't gone back and watched some of his early stuff. But that is also available this week. You can get it at Barnes & Noble. You can get it from Criterion.com. And we've still got like half the releases to go through. We're going to have to start picking up the pace and speeding through this. Sorry, these last weeks of the months are a doozy. And I can't talk to you guys as much as I'd like to. But we got a good crowd here tonight. So thanks for watching. And thanks for all your comments in the chat. I'm just going to jump in right here. Baloney, heads up, Umbrella Entertainment will release Funny Things Happen Down Under on August 6th. This is Olivia Newton-John's film from 1965, 13 years before she did Grease. Wow, so you got a heads up on what's coming out from Umbrella. Again, Umbrella keeps coming up tonight. I need to go ahead and make a order from them. I've been putting it off for long enough. Magnitude Rev Suzuki is the director of Branded to Kill and Tokyo Drifter. I might possibly consider picking this one up. 2 films in the Criterion collection, and now he's got a Radiance release, which is very cool. A lot of crossover between those 2 companies. Carrie Witt, I just watched the Dirty Harry 4K right before this stream, and I'm happy to report it looks absolutely fantastic. Get this. Oh, he got the Steelbook, by the way, he says. So good. That's the better option of the 2. Fun fact, Michael Keaton's real name is Michael Douglas. Is that true? That's hilarious. 3 The Hard Way is a blast from Dan's Den. Internet user really liked Prince of Broadway, Baker's 3rd film. Wow, that's already his 3rd film. Eva Wax, I can't remember if I've mentioned this. I wonder if have they put out his... No, maybe they have put out one of his first 2 films, because I know he already had a film on the collection. I can't remember where that falls in his filmography. Eva Wax, I can't remember if I've mentioned this, but I watched the 4K of 8.5 from Criterion. It looks exceptional. I don't think you have mentioned that. If you did, I didn't read it, so thanks for the recommendation. That's one I need to go ahead and pick up in an upcoming sale, if I don't get the big box set from Fellini. Magnitude Rev is also curious about Prince of Broadway, but I'm not sure if I want to blind buy that one. Well, the good thing is they have a lot of their stuff on Criterion Channel. I don't know if that one specifically is on there, but they right before they come out, they usually put them on the channel so you can check them out, which is really cool. Baloney, I leave for Sweden on Wednesday. I'll promote your show over there. Thank you. Yeah, get all the Swedish viewers for the show. That's amazing. Have fun in Sweden, dude. That's awesome. I'd love to go to Sweden. Mark's movie menu. Nothing seems to speak to me this week. Guess I can save my money. Hey, take it when you can get it, dude. There's constantly stuff coming up that speaks to me, but yeah, I have to say no to a lot of things because money is an object. For me, anyway. I don't know. Maybe not for everyone, but I only have a very limited supply of money I can use on this stuff. Takeout was Baker's second film. Okay, that's the one I was thinking of. I didn't know if it was his first or second or if maybe later, but that's pretty cool. All right. They're cranking out Sean Baker films. We're cranking through this list. Let's keep going. We are right past The Mullet and on to Heavier Trip. Heavier Trip from Music Box Films, 2024 comedy music film. Look at that. Look at that. That's a heck of a slipcover right there. Let's see what this is. A band is in jail but must escape when the guitarist's father falls ill and their family home business faces demolition. They receive an offer to play a major festival but decline due to being imprisoned and unprepared. Well, that's a good reason. What are we even talking about? What is going on? The Oldest Profession getting a Blu-ray release, 1974. This is Film Movement. We mentioned them earlier. They are a partner label from Vinegar Syndrome. They put out more like classic films. They do a lot of Japanese stuff. I guess not classic is the wrong term, but like critically beloved films, I guess. Film Movement. And this is specifically from the classic section, so I guess I can use that word. They use the word. This is a Japanese film, an erotic Japanese film by director Tanaka. Noboru Tanaka, 1974. I say that like I know what that means. There's a lot of Japanese directors that I don't know anything about because that's a huge blind spot for me. Spoonful of Sugar, another Shudder film, also from 2023. A TV movie, 2023, according to Blu-ray.com. Also coming out this week from Shudder through Vinegar Syndrome. Again, Vinegar Syndrome, we got the pickup from Severin Films, 1968. Two mob money couriers, Frankie and Tony, have their latest package of $1 million stolen by two con women, Dana and Marcia, in which the men must find the women to recover the money before they become marked men. Look at that. So a crime little thriller from Severin Films and Something Weird. Something Weird teams up with everybody. I feel like they're in bed with Vinegar Syndrome and Severin, and they're all over the place. But that's cool because, obviously Severin Film usually does horror films, so it's cool that they're doing a little crime thriller there. And then also from Distrib Picks, we got Career Bed, Sex by Advertisement double feature, two movies with some creepy clown masks on the front. There we go. 1968 and 1969. Directed by Joel M. Reed, which I'm sure is a huge cult classic filmmaker that I'm just not aware of because that's not really my genre. But you can get that as well on Vinegar Syndrome's website. Just go to Vincent, check out all the new releases that came out today because there's a bunch, and we still got a few that I'm going to have to rattle off quickly here at the bottom. We've got The Sword and the Claw from AGFA. AGFA, I've also heard it pronounced. Look at that slipcover. That's a lot of fun. AGFA also released the big Santa Claus Conquers the Martians release last year that sold out immediately. So I don't know if this one will sell out or not. It's two movies, The Sword and the Claw. It's got a bonus movie, The Brawl Busters, which is also included on this release, both from Natuk Bacon. Director Natuk Bacon. What are these? What language are these in? I don't know. Are these... It must be an English-speaking language, or an English-speaking country, because the audio is in English. But that looks like fun. I like the cover on that one. We've also got Cannibal Orgy, two words that I never want to hear next to each other again. And the films of JT the Fourth Blu-ray from Bleeding Skull, a partner label of Vincent. So two movies there again. A lot of double features coming out this week. Thankfully, mercifully, no synopsis for that film. We've got Kiss Up Mata getting a Blu-ray release, In the Wink of an Eye, from Connie? Is that how you pronounce that? That's another label that I'm interested in on Vinegar Syndrome's website. I've looked through their stuff many times, been tempted. They do a lot of Japanese stuff, and this looks like a Filipino film, which is very cool. 1981, only 99 minutes. And then another Radiance release, we've got Girl with a Suitcase. Like I said, they do Japanese films, they do Italian films. This is The Girl with a Suitcase, La Ragazza con la Valigia. I have no idea how to pronounce Italian films. I did watch all of Pasolini's films this week, but that does not make me an expert on the language. There's the cover art underneath. I kind of want to read the synopsis on this one. A girl pursues a guy who fooled her, but fascinates his younger brother instead. Ho-ho, that's another tale as old as time. Then we've got the Anora Digipack for the Blu-ray only. You can get it in Blu-ray or 4K. Then we got Last Breath coming out from Universal Studios. What is this little 2025 movie? Wow, have not heard of this, but Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, and Finn Cole are in this movie, based on the extraordinary true story. Why do they still put that on the cover? Does that sell it? Maybe there's some grandmas that really want to see it. I don't know. That seems like a really weird thing to sell it on at this point. Directed by Alice Parkinson. Brand new 2025 film. We've got Lily or Lily? This is another Warner Archive collection release from 1953. There you go. You'll fall in love with Lily from MGM. Technicolor film. Very cool. Like, I love these like old action, like back when there was no Photoshop. You literally had to cut out all the photos and just paste them together to make the poster. That looks like fun. I'm gonna have to look more into that one. That looks pretty cool. 1953 musical romance, maybe just in time for Musical May this month. Paddington in Peru. How is this so far down the list? Is this wow, Sony Pictures Blu-ray release of Paddington in Peru, the third Paddington movie. I know it's not directed by the same guy, but geez, way down the list. A funny, heartwarming adventure for the whole family. I feel like you could have wrote that review without even seeing it. Paddington in Peru, Blu-ray and digital. No 4K for the bear, unfortunately. Posse from Blu-ray, 50th anniversary edition from Kino Lorber. Finally getting back to Kino Lorber. I feel like we haven't talked about them in ages. They had one release earlier on in the stream, and now we're getting back to it here. 1975 Western film from Kino Lorber. Okay, we got a few more rows here. I am right up to the wire, so I'm going to have to rattle these off quickly. We got the Magnificent Chang-Che, the Magnificent Trio, Magnificent Wanderers. This is Eureka Classics. It's a double feature as well from 1966 and 1977. Look at that. Let's see the overview. There's the slipcover. Another, I really like classic Hollywood posters. I also really like classic Japanese film posters. They're a lot of fun. This is another Shaw Brothers release from Eureka. They've been cranking those out lately. Limited to only 2,000 copies. No synopsis on there at Blu-ray.com. And then we've also got Mother Couch from Film Movement, our second Film Movement release. Slipcover in original pressing. This is a new release. This is not Film Movement Classics. This is a 2023 film, and it looks amazing. What is this? Wow. One of those where the poster sells itself. It's got Ewan McGregor in it and Rhys Ifans. What is going on? What is this? I need to add that one to the wish list, or I need to at least do further research on that. 2023 movie. Only $18 on Amazon right now. That's crazy. 3 children are brought together when their mother refuses to move from a couch in a furniture store. Wow. It's like Darjeeling Limited meets... I don't even know. I don't even know what the other part of that analogy would be, but that sounds really interesting. That might be the peak of my interest tonight. That's actually, I don't even know what that is. American Expendables, the films of North American Pictures, Blu-ray from ETR Media, also getting a release. Here's the slipcover on that. The most 80s thing of all time. You've got 61 minutes. That's got to be like a documentary or something. No synopsis, though, on Blu-ray.com. Blu-ray.com really slipping on the synopses tonight. Leaving me in the dark and my viewers. We've got The Adventurers from 1995, also from Eureka Entertainment, coming out this week. A film by Ringo Lam. And then last one in this row, Inflatable Sex Doll of the Wasteland. Speaking of Deaf Crocodile, here we go. This is the most recent Deaf Crocodile release, way too low down on the popularity list, in my opinion. Inflatable Sex Doll of the Wasteland. This is a Japanese film. maybe Jeff Crocodile's first Japanese film? I don't know. No. They've definitely done other Japanese films. They just did an animated one just a few releases ago. 1967, a hitman is hired to rescue a woman who has been kidnapped and sexually abused by an old enemy. Very brief synopsis. Doesn't tell you a lot about it, but I'm assuming that it gets a little more interesting, involved, and crazy than that. That's pretty cool. Japanese film coming out from Deaf Crocodile, and I know that's a hard one for them to sell. They were putting out. I've seen them trying to advertise that one. Very, very strange. We've also got Lydia Lunch, The Gun is Loaded, and Road Rant, another double feature from 1989, coming out from Saturn's Core Audio and Video. Very obscure partner labels from Vincent coming out this week. But there it is. There's the cover on that one. Does have an original slipcover in that original pressing, and we've got just a handful of releases left here. A lot of re-releases, so I don't need to mention most of these. Like Shanks is getting a standard 4K after the Digipack. We've got a Blu-ray of Basquiat. Up is also getting a standard. Who Killed Teddy Bear 4K is also getting a standard from the Cinematograph line. And yeah, just a lot of Blu-ray and standard editions of stuff we've already talked about. I think the last one we need to mention is this Kino Lorber release of the Bermuda Triangle from 1979. There's the cover art on that one. Wow, that's an awesome poster. I like that quite a bit. Bermuda Triangle, I think we know what that's about, but it is actually, I don't know what it's about. It's a documentary that explores the legends, facts, and folklore about the dreaded Bermuda. That's really cool, about the triangle. I'm not a huge documentary fan, but that's actually interesting. I love that kind of stuff. I love that kind of folklore that is built up around locations around the world, and the Bermuda Triangle has always been an interesting one to me. We've also got, I skipped it, sorry, let me go back real quick. One last Kino Lorber release from Kino Cult. It is Swept Away. It's actually not from Kino Cult, excuse me, it's from Raro Video, which is another like partner label with Kino Lorber. There it is, Swept Away, getting a 4K release from 1974. Another 74 film. Lots of 70s films coming out this week. Anyway, that is everything coming out this week. Let me talk to you guys for real quick for the last 10 minutes of the show. Sorry, I haven't really had a chance to talk to you guys. It's a huge week. We had a lot of stuff to go through there. Let me know if there's any of those Vinegar Syndrome titles that you guys are very excited about for this week, or maybe that I should check out. Let me know if you know what the heck that Mother Couch movie is, because that piqued my interest for a little bit there. And then maybe we'll talk about like our most anticipated of the week. I know some people said they weren't really looking forward to much this week. I'm interested in A Tale of Sorrow and Sadness, and also that Mother Couch movie, maybe. And then, of course, the Deaf Crocodile release I'll pick up and take a look at. And apparently I should watch Wacky Races, because everyone has been really talking up Wacky Races. Let me zoom back up to the chat here and see if I can get where I left off. Robert Rogers, so many booby releases this week. Well, it's Vinegar Syndrome. Vinegar Syndrome drops all their titles at the end of the month, and that just happens to be today. So you got your fill for the whole week. Mr. Jones, I just watched the Sidney Lumet Child's Play from Cinematograph the other day. I will pause now for the inevitable Chucky joke. Okay, it's a really good little weirdo early 70s thriller. Yeah, that was one of the Cinematograph titles that I was actually interested in. Like I said, I fell off the wagon, but that one, there's like the same thing with the teddy bear one. What's it called? Let me scroll back down here because Who Killed Teddy Bear 4K? Yeah, that was another one that I almost picked up. I don't know. It's weird. I still can't figure out if I want to get back into that line or not. Magnitude Rev, Cannibal Orgy, that's certainly a film name. Someone said it is basically yeah, Luke, I think Cannibal Orgy as a title is a synopsis in itself. Yeah, I didn't feel like I needed any more information on that. I think that was plenty. Internet user says they're interested in checking out Girl with a Suitcase. Very cool. Google's I will never live long enough to catch up on all of Sidney Lumet's films. I feel like there's a lot of filmmakers that I feel that way about. Evil Wax, luckily Pasolini only made like, what did he make, 9 films in this box set, then the Trilogy of Life, and then one more. So he only made like 15 films? 14 films? 14 films, if you don't count his short films. So very doable, very doable. I recommend his filmography. No Borders, Connie releasing a lot of great Filipino films. Okay, so I didn't know they were doing that. That's pretty cool. Carrie Witt, I haven't been keeping up. Like, I really got into Vinegar Syndrome like the last halfway to Black Friday sale, and then I kind of fell off towards the end of the year, missed a couple big profile releases, so I need to keep up more. because they're putting out a ton of stuff. Carrie Witt, I love this stream. Keeps me abreast of all the latest releases. Very well done. Very well done. Magnitude Rev, Last Breath is an okay survival film. Nothing special, but an entertaining watch at that. Dan Stan also says Last Breath, the kind of film where Simu Liu gets out of water and his hair is still perfect. I feel like that's a lot of Hollywood films. Paddington getting some love from Magnitude Rev and Dan's Den. Robert Rogers, Girl with the Suitcase, has Jacques Perrin from Cinema Paradiso. You said in the past you liked his work. I do really like Cinema Paradiso. Is that, yes, that's the same. So he's the main guy who's also in a couple of Jacques Demy films from like the 60s. He's in Donkey Skin. He's also in Young Girls of Rochefort. Yeah, I like him a lot. I didn't know. So The Girl with the Suitcase, that was the Radiance title, right? The Italian film? I guess I got to look into that one too. I really, really wish I could keep up with Radiance. They're doing a lot of cool stuff. There's not enough money in the world. But Girl with the Suitcase. All right, I'll have to look more into that one. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. That's another one. Both Radiance releases look really interesting this week. Luke, I think people are a bit bored of Paddington at this point. Maybe wait another 5 more years so it feels more novelty again. Maybe so. Maybe just people really weren't... I guess I was going to say maybe it was just the director leaving, but that can't be the case because most normal people don't even care about the director these days. So yeah, I guess, I don't know. Maybe it just didn't get advertised well. Evil Wow. I feel like the first 2 were advertised like crazy. Like I saw that bathroom trailer like a million times when it came out. Watched The Iron Claw and was not impressed with it at all. I suppose the acting was strong across the board, but the story just didn't work for me. Yeah, it didn't get a lot of love that year. I never saw it, but it wasn't, I don't think it got nominated for anything. So I guess I don't think you're in the minority there. Baloney, good night, everyone. Bowing out now to prep for my trip. Well, good luck in Sweden. Check out all the physical media stores or whatever you're going to do over there and let us know how it is. Carrie Witt, I sometimes play the part of Father Couch when hockey playoffs or Bond marathons are on. Yeah, I'm not a big hockey. Where are you from? I was just in Minnesota like 2 weeks ago and hockey was like everywhere. Everyone was talking about hockey. That's a completely different world. Nobody cares about hockey down here in the South. Kevin House, Lily is set in a small carnival, so you would like it. In addition, it was actress Elizabeth Montgomery's favorite film. The title song is Real Earworm. Okay. It's a musical. I'm down for that. I'll have to look into it. Ethan Edwards just got my Kino Lorber sale box today. Exciting. Ethan Edwards, always the last one to get his sale boxes. Where do you live, man? You live in Africa or like Alaska or something? I don't know where you're from. I got a couple boxes from Kino Lorber here. I got a bunch of films to talk about. I've already filmed the videos. I filmed 2 parts, and I just haven't had any time to edit. I've been preparing for this Pasolini conversation that we're going to have tomorrow night, and kind of out of town all last week for a wedding that my son was in. He was the ring bearer. So I haven't had any time to edit, but I've got like 2 Kino Lorber videos shot. I've got a new review video shot of these Viavision releases. I've got a couple different shorts shot. So I've got a lot of stuff shot. I just got to get it edited and up for you guys. Hopefully this week will be a little less crazy. I am optimistic. Michael Smith, good Bermuda Triangle movie is called Triangle. Good premise. Bermuda Triangle. I remember watching that as a very young boy. A bit scary and mysterious for me back then. Yeah, I mean, a documentary about a place where a lot of people like disappear and die would probably be pretty traumatic for a little kid. So I won't be showing that to my kids, but I'm interested myself to pick it up. Carrie Witt for me this week is rather stacked. Obviously waiting on picking up Criterion till the sale, but I got my Dirty Harry. Interested in the sex doll from Deaf Crocodile. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. Radiance, Deaf Crocodile, Criterion dropping 3 bangers right at the beginning of, or I guess at the end of the month, which is crazy because they already had other releases earlier in the month. This is a huge week. I guess this was those few months where Criterion was releasing like 7 per month. So a lot of stuff to get to. JT has to sign off as well. Yeah, everyone's jumping off. I'm going to be jumping off here in just a couple of minutes. We're right at an hour and a half. And I gotta start prepping for this Pasolini video. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. I really enjoyed watching through all of his movies, and I can't wait to talk about it with my other 2 co-hosts tomorrow night. Joshua LeBure, I got a press screener for Mother Couch last year, and I really liked it. Very surreal, reminds me of films like Synecdoche, New York, but on a smaller scale. You're adding to my interest because I like surreal movies. Kevin House, this week was a real booby trap. Luke SE, I really disliked Theorem by Pasolini. I saw it as too on the nose and slow. It put me off watching his other stuff. Oh man, don't let, well, I don't know. It might not be for you. Teorema is actually my favorite Pasolini film. I love that one. Right up there with Gospel According to Matthew, and I really like Oedipus Rex, and I just watched Medea tonight. I really like that one. I think my 3 favorite Pasolini films, if you didn't like Teorema, is it Teorema or Teorama? I've heard it both ways. If you didn't like that one, then you probably won't. You may like Gospel According to Matthew and Mama Roma. Those are my 3 favorites from him. And Mama Roma and Gospel According to Matthew are very different than Teorema. Like he really changed over the 60s. Like he started out making these very Italian neorealist inspired, very minimal films, and then he slowly evolved into his more like surreal, allegorical, almost silent films by the end of the kind of impenetrable films. But I really enjoy his stuff. So maybe watch some of his earlier stuff. I would start with Mama Roma. I think Mama Roma is a really good place to start. If you're not interested in like the whole Jesus thing. Internet user, The Umbrellas of Cherbourg is coming out next month. Get prepared. Get prepared? I thought you were about to say get prepped, and then I really butchered that whole sentence. But yes, I'm super excited. That's one I kind of want to go to the theater to see. I would love to see that in 4K. It's a new 4K restoration coming out for it. No Borders in theaters. New 4K restoration of A Man and a Woman. Look for it on disc in a few months. Looks great. Timothy is in the chat. Hey, DJ, did you see the Plaza's doing a marathon of the Apu trilogy at the end of May? Sounds awesome. Definitely going. Oh, that would be awesome. Are they doing them... When you say marathon, is it like all in one day, or is it like over a few nights? Because I don't know if I could find the time to watch all 3 in one day, but I would like to see those on the big screen. That would be really cool. And then pick up the Criterion in July. That would be perfect. I need to start going to the Plaza more. I have not been in like a year, it feels like. But I would love to go back. They're doing a showing of Red Rock West at the Plaza coming up, which would be really cool to watch with an audience. And Vinegar Syndrome is coming to town to show it. And then they're doing like a pop-up Vincent market at the Videodrome video store, which is right down the street from the Plaza. I think that's coming up. I don't know. I don't think I missed it. I think it's in May. So I definitely want to do that. If you're in the Atlanta area and you want to, we need to do like a meetup there or something, because I would love to meet some of you guys, and I would love to buy some Vinegar Syndrome titles like in person at the store. That would be awesome. I'm very jealous of the people that have Vincent stores in their area and you can just like go buy stuff. It's really cool, and I'd love to go to that. Maybe Timothy, you can meet me there. That sounds like a lot of fun. Ethan Edwards, Ohio. It's because I procrastinate and wait until the deadline to order. Okay, so you're like me with the Criterion one. You waited till the very last minute, and then your stuff got put off till the very end. Well, that's what you get. Serves you right. Luke, which do you prefer, DJ? The Sound of Music or Mary Poppins? I'm not sure what I would pick myself. Ooh. I mean, I gotta go Sound of Music. Mary Poppins is very new to me. I did not grow up with Mary Poppins. I just watched it recently for like the first time. But man, if you got kids and you watch Mary Poppins and they're in your lap while you're watching it, that will break you down. And it was so good. Speaking of films from 1964, Mary Poppins, Gospel According to Matthew, right up there. Like I feel like I got to give it to Pasolini for my favorite film of 64. But also, we got Qui-Gon. Isn't Qui-Gon also 64? Like 64 is a ridiculous year for film. It's impossible to pick a favorite. But yeah, I got to go Sound of Music. One of my wife's all-time favorite movies of all time. She actually used to watch that movie with her grandmother all the time, and that's the grandmother just passed away last week that she had to go out of town for the funeral for. So she's been... I mean, I don't think she could watch Sound of Music right now. It's going to take a while because it's going to destroy her when she watches it. But yeah, it's one of my wife's favorite movies of all time. So I gotta go Sound of Music. Carrie Witt also in Ohio. I guess I got to do an Ohio trip. He says Atlanta lost their hockey team a while ago, but I lived in Minnie and that place is nuts for it. Yeah, seriously. Your friend Mr. Jones, I'm catching up on what I missed of the stream. Wacky Races was a big cartoon for me as a kid. It's a mad world. As a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Well, that's actually a really good sell because I love It's a Mad World. Really good movie. And also in the Criterion Collection. Kevin House, I should have added that I love Lily. The way I worded my comment might have given you the wrong impression. No, I'm sure. I think I got that. I'm glad you like it. I will look more into it. There's a lot of stuff this week that I need to look more into, including that Arrow video box set. Maybe The Belly of an Architect. That might be something I need to look more into. Tale of Sadness, both the Radiance releases, and then Mother Couch. Yeah, Yeah, a handful of stuff I'm interested in from this week. Nothing huge, nothing major that I've been like looking forward to for a while. It's the end of the month, but we do have a lot of stuff probably coming out next week. I kind of want to do a little sneak peek here. Oh, I should mention this too. This is a little weird. Let me go ahead and throw this in real quick last minute. There is another release coming out, not on the 29th, but the next day. So usually everything comes out on Tuesday, but the next day, April 30th, they've got another Bill Plimpton release, Mutant Aliens, coming out from Deaf Crocodile. I want to give that a shout out. Look at that. And it looks like it matches perfectly, same artist as this one, I Married a Strange Person. So they're really on the Bill Plimpton train here. And it's weird that that's coming out on the 30th. I don't know why that is, but glad I saw that before I hopped off, because I wanted to give a shout out for Deaf Crocodile. New releases coming out. They're already coming out with new ones, and I haven't even reviewed the last two. I gotta get caught up. But that's a 2001 film. Those are limited to only $12.50, so very limited. So if you are a big Deaf Crocodile fan, maybe grab those. Let me read these last couple comments and we'll sign off here. Thanks for hanging out, guys. It was a really cool stream. Evil Wax says, based on that review from Joshua, I'm going to add Mother Couch to my Letterboxd. Carrie Witt prefers Mary Poppins. Internet User says Qui-Gon is from 65. Umbrellas of Cherbourg is from 64. Jeez, okay. Yeah, the 60s are insane for cinema. Like, all these movies came out in the 60s, and they've got all these other directors doing crazy things in the 60s. I feel like I always say that my favorite decades are like the 30s and the 60s, but 60s might be taking the lead as I catch up on stuff I've missed. Evil Wax says, sorry to hear about her grandmother passing, wishing Grace the best. Thanks, guys, so much. And I did tell her, I did give her your well wishes last week, and she was very gracious and thankful for that. Carrie Witt, I always cheered for the Blue Falcon team on Wacky Races. Evil Wax says, Bill Plimpton's animation is surreal. Robert Rogers, thumbs up, everyone. Yes, thank you. If you are still here, there are apparently 74 people watching. If everybody gives it a thumbs up, good things happen, I guess. Apparently, that's what they tell me. Apparently, it boosts the video and gets it in the algorithm, and more people see it, and then we can grow, and then we can, have more opportunities for the channel. So thanks everybody who thumbs up the channel and comments afterwards. I know most of you guys talk in the live chat, but if you could leave a comment afterwards just to give it a little bump, that would be very much appreciated. We got Shadow Raptor Peta Lion from Deaf Crocodile. I'm excited for Yuri Norsten's stuff being available on Blu-ray. Yeah, a lot of stuff coming out from Deaf Crocodile this year. It seems like it's going to be a big year for them. I'm happy for them because I really appreciate the work they do. The Great Race capitalized on the success of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, as did a number of other 60s comedies. Speaking of 60s movies, I mentioned The Great Race earlier, actually, and I think it was completely unrelated. No, it was related to Wacky Races. But yeah, that's a great film. I like that one quite a bit. Very funny. No Borders, great show as always, DJ. Looking forward to the Pasolini video. Thanks so much. We'll be recording it tomorrow. I'm probably not going to edit it because it's going to be a long one. I'm probably just going to throw it up later on this week. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully some of you guys watched through some of the Pasolini movies this past week with us, because it was a beast of a marathon, but I had a lot of fun, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about those films. Carrie Witt says, love Bill Plimpton's stuff. First saw his shorts at a film festival in 1990. And then Luke says, I always cheer for the professor on... We're still talking about Wacky Races. Wacky Races wins the stream for most talked about release of the week, which I definitely was not expecting when we started this. Let's go. Ethan Edwards, I never remember to give a thumbs up. Thank you. Well, remember this time, because I reminded you. I never remember to remind people, so we're in the same boat. Anyway, that's all I got for you this week. We made it through. It was a tough week. There's a lot of stuff to get through. My voice held out. I kind of stayed on track for the majority of the stream, even though we got off the rails quite a bit there for a little bit. But anyway, that's all I got. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, all that stuff. Really appreciate you guys. I'm going to try to get those videos edited for you real soon. This just came in the mail today. I don't even know what this is. Somebody sent me something. I'm assuming this is from my wish list. It feels like a movie. I didn't order anything, so I'll probably shoot a little short for this maybe right afterwards and see what's in there. But I'll talk to you guys throughout the week, as always. Try to do more posts. Another thing I should tell you guys to do is follow me on Instagram. I've been posting more on Instagram lately, and you kind of get a sneak peek of what's coming up on the channel, because I'll take pictures of stuff that comes in, and then that'll be a lot easier to get up before I have to edit the video. So you get a little sneak peek. It's fun. It's also a good place to talk to people over there. Like there's actually a messaging thing because YouTube, for some reason, doesn't have a messaging feature. So I've been talking to people over on Instagram. So thanks so much, Films by Color on Instagram. Follow me over there, and we'll see you later on throughout the week. Until next time, keep collecting.